Wednesday night, but we definitely want to say hello to everybody that's joined us. And we thank you for being here at the Open Center for Spiritual Living Wednesday night midweek oasis. My name is Paul. I'll be your host. I think you all know that. And no one's here for the first time except for Johanna, who used to do Wednesday nights here, who's down in Simi Valley. So we
Okay,
welcome
Johanna.
Reverend
Yes.
Johanna.
Yeah. Oh.
I believe, Christopher, is that not correct? Am I using the right title? Yes, indeed. So welcome, Johanna. Um, that's funny because Johanna was my TA for, at the time, Foundations class, and she shared a lot of insight with me in my early days of floundering through the science of mind philosophy. So I'm eternally grateful to her and her insight. So thank you for being here tonight, Johanna. So Wednesday night, it's our oasis. It's our time to connect between Sundays. And Reverend Jeff has structured Wednesday nights to be informal, intimate, and rich. We have various speakers and various styles, but mostly we use the Satsang style, where a speaker will speak on a topic and then open it up for a rich, informative, and informal discussion. And then we have folks like Christopher Brown that teaches in a circle at his home. And just so you know that Christopher is kind of lecturer and classroom and circle and interactive and satsang all rolled into one. So we're getting the full treatment tonight with him. The annual theme is 2020 Spiritual Vision, and our monthly theme, and it's the last, and I'm kind of glad we're done with this theme because it's been put to the practice for the last month, facing the feelings and confronting our fears. And it's been a month to do that. We'll be moving into our new theme of cosmic connection starting tomorrow. I welcome anybody joining us for the first time. And we want to let you know it is still digital, it's still Zoom. So you will be muted, both your camera and your microphone, to improve the quality of the transmission. So now I get to introduce Christopher Brown. Everybody knows him as our beloved practitioner here at the center. He's going to be speaking on deep listening in uncertain times. A little bit about Christopher. Not only is he a friend and my mentor, my practitioner of my heart, he's also the expert and professor of the physical universe. If there's anything wrong, he knows how to fix it, even me, and that's a lot. He co-leads the facilities management team with me. We've been doing a lot of work at the center recently. You'll get to preview a little bit over the 75th anniversary, and you're welcome to come see all of our great work at the center when we're there during the day. We are conducting private tours, so we're proud to show off the work. He also co-leads with Susan Urquhart Brown, who was our meditator and practitioner. Thank you, Susan, again for that beautiful meditation. They host the Power of Presence international workshops and retreats. And not only does Christopher do that with Susan, he also is a New Thought regular circuit speaker at the Home of Truth every month, and the in Alameda, and the Inspired Living Center in Brentwood. And he's our 5th Wednesday midweek Oasis speaker. So I don't know where he finds the time to do all this stuff, but he does. It wears me out just to introduce him. So Christopher, welcome. Thank you for being our speaker tonight in advance. I'm going to ask you to open up in a prayer for a minute, and then we'll go right into your topic.
Thank you so much, Paula. I appreciate the difficult introduction. So let's take a breath together and simply to arrive at exactly where we are. How easy that sounds. But if you were to drop into your heart and to feel the presence that is already there within our body, this alive presence. And to simply arrive at exactly where we are. This moment, this Buddha field, this infinite presence, and as the Sufis would say, this dazzling darkness. And as we arrive in our oneness, in our unity, I speak from this point of now, claiming, accepting the beautiful unfolding of this service this evening, of our topic tonight, which is deep listening. And that everyone that participates will receive a new insight into deep listening, not only for themselves, but for their loved ones. That we will be uplifted by our own interactions this evening. And so how blessed we are to come together tonight in this particular way. And so let's seal this by saying Ashe, Amen, and so it is. And so our topic, deep listening, and to start out by saying that we listen with our eyes, and we listen with our ears, and we listen with our skin, but we also listen with our full body. In the full body, there's an ear within our chest, we'll call it the heart, and there's a listening there also, if we are aware of it. Well, last night I watched the debate, and I was very aware that I was not listening from my heart. I was, wow. What I was listening to were scary stories in my mind. And the scary stories are of how separate we are as a nation, how we need to vote, how we have been traumatized by 4 years of this presidential leadership. Now, if we add that onto climate crisis, ice sheets melting, polar bear and mammal extinctions, the coronavirus pandemic, not being able to be together, people dying, losing their jobs. I mean, I can go on, and I will stop at that, although we can add racism in there, the Black Lives Matter movement, which I'm delighted to see happening. And so if we take a breath saying that these perhaps are our most uncertain times, these are new times that are challenging. And statistically, this particular year, 40% of the people in the United States admit to being depressed or absolutely anxious about the future. 40%. This is unheard of. So with that in mind, what can we do? Besides voting, but what can we do? If we stop and if we listen, and we listen not to the scary stories that are coming, but to the silence that is always here and always available, our deep connection to the oneness that we're seldom aware of. When we tap into that, all of a sudden, everything starts to quiet. And we can do that again right in this moment by simply arriving here now. It sounds so easy. But what if we were to actually arrive here in this very moment? This moment. Because it's where we're listening from is the most important place. Are we listening from our past, from our beliefs, from our history? Well, yes, of course. But can we put that aside? Is it possible to listen from awareness, this very moment awareness, which is pure, which is clean, which doesn't have an opinion? So the quality of our listening will inform the quality of our actions. And the quality of our actions has a feedback loop that then starts to inform our listening. What if we were to kind of break that and just to completely focus on the quality of our listening, to simply listen open-heartedly. Imagine what it would be like to be listened to from an open-hearted place, where you're listened to where there is no judgment. There is simply this open spaciousness where you can dance. You can dance with another and you can discover how beautifully you can dance. So imagine there's a dance floor and the music is playing and you walk out onto the dance floor and it is crowded. It is crowded with all kinds of beliefs, all kinds of stories, all kinds of thoughts, all kinds of memories. It's hard to dance and to really cut loose when there's no space for it. What I'm suggesting is deep listening, dropping into this presence, this momentary presence of now, listening through the heart. It clears the dance floor. All of a sudden, there's nobody on the dance floor, and you are free to cut loose and to discover how fantastic you are. Because when you're in that place, you do not need the reflection from other people to see whether you're doing good or not. You just are. It's kind of like when the dancer disappears and only the dance remains, that you're so immersed in the now, in the beauty of the now, that it's just pure dance, pure energy. So I'm going to suggest that listening is probably our most important spiritual practice. It's a practice. And last night in the debate, I was continuing to practice. And I found that I would turn off. I could not listen to the president. It was impossible. The energy was just impossible. And that reminds me that words are important, but it's the energy behind the words is even more important. And I'll take a look if you've ever taken one of those capsules, that you can pull apart and there's the medicine or the powder inside. Well, think of the capsule as the word. And what's inside is the essence of the person. And so when communication is happening, I'm delivering a capsule. It's a capsule in a word, but you're also picking up the essence, what's behind the word. And last night I watched a prime example of an energy that was coming through that capsule that was physically very difficult to absorb. I was finding it was very difficult. So if he's having that kind of, it's like watching that. This particular president has that ability to power that capsule through. We all have that ability also, but what are we sending with our words? What kind of essence are we sending with our words? Are we sending our principles of peace and generosity, spaciousness, love? Or are we sowing our essence of division, of hatred, of racism, of animosity? We got to see a very good example of all of that last night between the two candidates. What I discovered is when I get stressed out, like last night, listening to our president, I can't listen. And you'll find that oftentimes when you're in a heated argument or with somebody that you really care about, it could be with my wife, my beautiful wife, Susan. When I become touched or heated, my ability to listen goes, it goes down. And in those moments, if I'm smart, I will shut up and stop talking. Susan will claim that I'm not real good at that, but I'm learning. But the most important thing to remember is when we are when we are anxious, when we are in those anxiety moments, listening is cut off. Listening doesn't exist. We go right to a survival mode. And in that survival mode, we come up with a strategy that may not be supportive to that particular conversation. One survival mode, which we saw last night demonstrated, was attack. When the president was pushed into a corner, he would attack. He would talk over. He would bully. That was his strategy. That was his strategy not to listen, not to engage, and not to understand. So if we apply this to the antidote to what is, in a sense, perhaps could be uplifted in our lives and certainly could be uplifted in our country, would be cultivating the ability to listen to one another deeply, to listen to understand the other, to listen to the essence of the other. And what is their position? What are they trying to get across? And also opening up the dance floor so that they can dance their particular dance. I've found that if I'm quiet and don't interrupt, that the other person becomes interested in perhaps what I have to say, because after a while they get tired of talking. I know some people don't, but most people do. And at that time, there is an opportunity to speak. But one of the most important things in deep listening is to simply listen from that open, spacious dance floor. There was a salesman, and he was at a conference, and he was the head salesman, and he had put up this conference. And there was the guest speaker. The guest speaker was an amazing motivational speaker. And he made a bet with the conference leader, that top salesperson. He said, I can pick out your 3 best salesmen. Well, there was over 100 in the conference. He said, if I pick them out, will you buy me lunch? And the guy said, sure. So he gave the talk, and he picked out 3 people after his talk. And the head salesman said, that's fantastic. They're not my top 3, but they're my top 5. How did you do it? He said, it was easy. I felt the crowd. I can feel them listening. And those particular people I could feel the most. They were spot on, great eye contact, but I could feel them. They were engaged. And if they're engaged with me, they will be engaged with customers. And that's why I know that they're your top salespeople. And he said, that's brilliant. I had no idea. He said, this is what that talk was about. Practice it, practice it, practice it. Practice listening to your customers, to your friends, to your family, and especially your wife. So, last part before we go into our breakout rooms. There's something about when we listen to somebody, we give them energy. We not only give them a spaciousness, but our intention to simply listen to them gives them an energy that it will inform their speaking. When I'm deeply listened to, I come up with ideas I didn't know I had. And I know that's true for you also. And so if we can listen deeply, we can give other people energy to solve their own problems. Wow, we don't have to give them advice, but we can be there to witness their aha moments. We can witness them solving their own problems, coming up with their own answers, which is infinitely more rewarding. And to do that is such a gift, such an absolute gift. So in our exercises tonight, we will be speaking and we will be listening back and forth. Watch your listening Speaking is easy, but watch your listening, the quality of listening. Watch how attentive you are and watch any thoughts that come up. Can you simply listen? So in a moment, Peggy's going to break us out into groups, but before she does that, groups of 2, before she does that, we're going to imagine right now somebody that sort of that sort of like mentored you, but it was mentored you by listening to you. This could be somebody in your childhood, it could be a teacher, it could be a best friend, but somebody who truly listens to you with this quality that I'm speaking of, this quality of deep listening, where you feel perfectly safe with this person. So get an idea of that particular person. And in doing so, what are the qualities that that person is exhibiting? What are their qualities? Just getting a sense of their qualities. And another point would be, how does it make you feel when you're deeply listened to? When you're in their presence and when they're listening to you, how do you feel? Okay, that's enough questions. We're going to have Peggy break us out, and it's going to be for 10 minutes. And we're going to have an A and a B. Decide who's going to go first. And I want you to discuss with B for about 5 minutes apiece. What is it like? What was it like for that special person to be listened to? To be listened to, and how did it feel? And what were the qualities? Okay, you got the idea? We're going to have Peggy break you out now into a room. Remember to unmute your microphone. We'll see you in a bit. Peggy, can we just have breakout rooms for 2 people?
Well, we got our own breakout room, which is the main room.
Super.
Okay,
Thanks
but
for asking.
no, I didn't. That's just because we're out of it. That's why. We're in the main room. So now I got to get a hold of Peggy. So where did Mr. Brown go? Great.
Okay, so breakout rooms. Close all rooms.
I think we're coming back.
Yes, I got everybody coming back. Christopher, your mic, you're still muted.
Okay, can we go out into couples, just to twos?
Yes, yes. Even though
Perfect.
we rehearsed it differently, let me do that right now. See if I can redo that.
Okay,
Please be patient with me. I don't do this often.
you're doing great.
Oh, let's see. Let me recreate.
Love you, Peggy.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's super simple. Just recreate and change.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm recreating right now. Doing 12 participants. So let's do 6 rooms and recreate all rooms. Hi, Susan. Do you want to be in a room with me on the main room? Hi, Susan.
Do you know that there's only 2 big groups?
No, that's now 6 groups, 2 of each. 2 in each
there is.
room.
Oh, you did fix it. Okay.
Yep.
Because I got knocked off and so I just came back on. So
Yeah, so you can be in the room with me.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
cool.
I know. It worked out.
Yeah. So do you know you got the question?
No, what's the question?
Okay. Well, Christopher's talking about deep listening. And
Yes.
so the question is about who in your life do you feel that really listens to you? It could be past, current, present, anyone. And what did it feel like? What were the qualities of this person? Uh-oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
You just can't see me anymore because you had your camera off, so I turned mine off.
Yeah, but I'm back and it says the host has opened breakout rooms. Please wait to be assigned.
Oh, well, but you can hear me, right?
I can hear you
So you're still in the main room with me. I have not assigned you anywhere because
okay.
then
So
there'd be 3 in one room. So you might as well stay with me since.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
So-
why I didn't assign you.
All right. If I push the red button up here to close this, do I leave?
You don't need to do anything. You just
Won't do anything.
don't
Okay.
do anything. Just stay
Okay.
with me. And when I close all rooms, you'll still be right here with me.
Okay. So have you thought of someone or do you want me to start?
I did think of someone. Thank you
Okay.
for asking that question.
Yes, go for it.
Yeah, I did think of someone who listens to me, who I felt really listened and witnessed what I had to share.
Mm-hmm.
and it was my aunt. My aunt, one of my father's sisters, and the feeling was really very, very supportive and powerful because I was so young and I was afraid. I was afraid to bring out my personality.
Mhm.
I was afraid to bring out my true personality. I would hide behind a lot of humor because I liked to have fun, but there was a person inside that was really wanting to come out. And my aunt, her name was Aunt Willa, Willa, an old, really old name.
Yeah.
And she just would call me up sometimes because I lived in Boston and she lived in Vermont. And she'd just call and say hello and ask me some questions. I never knew how she could figure out which questions to ask a young person who usually doesn't want to talk to an older person.
Mhm. Mhm.
And but she had a knack. She had a knack for it. And it was delightful. And I
Well,
think it really helped me set the foundation, begin to put the tiles of foundation into place
nice.
for more tiles to be added for the grounding of who I would yet become.
Nice.
And what about you, Susan?
Well, that now that you brought that up, I was thinking of an English teacher, and when I was a senior and moved to a new high school, and I was basically knew no one. And the high school was, everybody had their cliques, high school is.
Oh, yeah.
And I got left with maybe two other people in the auditorium because even though my school and everybody had sent all my information, they hadn't assigned me to anything.
Mm.
So I had no schedule. And so she's an English teacher, so I don't know how she ended up coming in, but she asked me what the issue was, who I was, and she says, "Oh dear, come with me. Let's go into the office and I'll help you figure out what your assignments are." And it looks like you don't have an English teacher. And so I teach English, and it looks like I'd fit into your schedule. And so she became my English teacher, and she became sort of I mean, I didn't have a lot of conversations with her, but she became an advocate for me. And she made me feel welcome. This was the days of, you sit in your seat and you have to raise your hand and all that stuff. So she would always give me a chance because I was a little shy.
Mm-hmm.
And they did alphabetical. So with a U, I'm always in the back of the room. And so she'd call on me just to have me share. And she really encouraged my writing, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really appreciated her so much.
I bet you did.
And
I
she
just,
did, yes, she
may
just
I,
did all kinds of kind things like that throughout the.
yeah. Can I interrupt you for a moment?
Sure.
I just noticed Karen Peterson is in breakout room all by herself.
Oh, well, let's go.
Let's move her. Let's move you in there with her.
Okay, that sounds good.
Let's do that. You have to unmute
Yeah,
yourselves.
I'm back.
Hmm.
We're back.
Okay. I'm hoping you thanked your wonderful partners.
Yes.
So what are some of the qualities? First off, how did you feel when you were truly listened to? What were some of the qualities? And who'd like just to share just a boom, 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 some of those qualities? Oh, hey, so
Okay, some qualities. Compassionate, open, loving, genuine, generous.
and how did you feel when you experienced that?
Felt validated. I felt empowered.
Mm.
Two things that come for me.
Thank you. Who else would like to add to that?
This is Sherry. Peggy, I have been thrown out and all I see is Zoom.
Okay, let me see what I can do for you.
Thank you.
Uh,
So who else would like to share?
Judith, you have to unmute. Are you trying to talk?
You have to unmute yourself. I see you, Sherry.
Okay.
I don't see anybody except Zoom across it, but that's okay. I can hear everybody. Just let's
Good.
go on.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how does, when you're listened to, how does it, what's the feeling tone when you're listened to? Yes,
Okay.
Anthony.
so use the word
It
empowered.
felt like,
Oh.
it feels like someone is family. That's what I felt with several people that we were drawing to
Mhm,
family, someone that knew me and that I knew.
mhm.
It was an emotional connection, to be listened, to be heard, listened to be heard. I felt heard.
Yeah. Thank you, Judith. Anthony?
I was saying that Joe used the word empowered, which is a good word. There's also a sense I felt of freedom, that the suppression of my bottled up feelings about a particular experience, just I so trust this person, and I felt safe, and they gave all the responses like they're really interested in me and they're concerned about my welfare, whether it was a joyous experience or a negative. That I could feel it in the air. And then after talking to them, I felt, wow, I feel relieved. I feel like I released something because I was, Alice was my partner, and I was telling her, I could tell my story to 5 different people, but I'm going from person to person with my story. And then I get a person who, and perhaps I'm not feeling I'm not being heard, although they're hearing me. Then you get somebody who kind of goes into the hole with me to a degree. And they're another attribute of someone listening is when they ask, they comment and question, like it's deep and it's penetrating about the experience I was having or I'm having. And I'm thinking, wow, they're getting it. This is amazing. So there's a sense of release that comes. Yeah.
Beautiful. Nicely said. Again, the point I'm trying to bring out is the quality of our listening will inform the other person speaking. And so, Anthony, what you're saying is, to the degree that that person was listening open-heartedly, was the degree that you were able to move into intimacy, into a level of love, a love connection with that person. And that's such a gift. And if we're going to heal this country, these are the kinds of conversations and the kind of listening that's going to be required to move through and to build these bridges. And yeah, we have our work to do. This is a practice. Oh boy. Anybody else before we move on? Tanya?
I think that I have a richer experience whenever I remember to listen to myself first, meaning my inner self, to ground myself, and then I can be more present to the other person. It's like giving myself a gift so that I can give them a gift. And sometimes I forget that first part. I'm complete.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. I had forgotten to mention that. That's so important, especially when we're scared or we're in a situation where there's anxiety and we're having a hard time listening. Is to listen to ourselves first so that we can perhaps be able to listen to the other. Thank you so much for bringing that out. We're going to do another quick exercise. Maybe, Peggy, if you can set us up for only 8 minutes, we're going to have to really go for it. You're going to be thinking of a time when, maybe a childhood time, where you had like a best friend and you did something really goofy that was fun. And so this is like a 1-minute story. And what you're going to do is you're going to tell that 1-minute story to your partner. And then they're going to tell the story back to you to see how well they listened. And the person who's listening, make this fun. Just enter the story with them. Just really be with the story. Not have to worry about the details, but just whatever the story takes you, go with the story. And then after that, you'll switch and you'll have a chance to do your story and they'll get a chance to listen and to repeat it back. Are we ready for that? And so we'll be in groups of 2.
Christopher, can you repeat the first part again?
Sure.
What story are we sharing?
You're sharing a story from childhood or, young adulthood where you did something goofy.
Oh, okay.
I like the time I was out, stealing gasoline, pumping gasoline out of cars with,
No, don't go there, Christopher. Go.
Oh, we won't do that. And
Stop that.
Gasoline,
story.
I almost went to the hospital. Taught me a good lesson.
I want to save your reputation.
Wacko stories. You get the idea, and then the other person will share it back. So this is an exercise in listening.
Okay, so are you guys ready? Now I'm showing, Paul, you're in a room by yourself at the moment.
That's
So
not news to me, Peggy. Go ahead.
So if that's the case, come back to me and be my partner, okay?
And Peggy, I'm nowhere. I'm just still looking at this Zoom picture.
I think it might, and TC, you please chime in. I think that screen, what you're looking for is behind that screen. Can you see at the top?
How do you look behind us?
Is there- or maybe you close down and come on back in. You want to do that?
Okay.
I'm not in a
Wait a
group.
minute. Wait a minute.
I'll do that.
Hit your escape button.
Ah,
There we go.
All right.
All right, you ready? Okay, I'm gonna open all the rooms.
Okay, and I'm Dennis Clark. I'm sitting in for my wife, Karen Peterson, tonight.
Oh, great. Hey, Dennis.
Okay, here we go.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, so I got my breakout room with the host.
That's right. Why not?
Yeah, you're right. Sherry's getting the secondary screen on top of her. And if you hit escape, it shrinks. So
thank you for telling me. When I heard you, I was like, that's it.
Yeah, I have multiple screens open. I've got 3 Word documents and a PowerPoint just in case. So
just in case. Yeah.
All right. Funny story from my childhood. Okay, not so
Okay.
much childhood. Halloween, 1976. I worked at. I left my family under tragic circumstances, bad circumstances, and moved in with my aunt in Ohio, the one you hear me talk about, and her husband. They took me in when I was 17. So I graduated high school from Heath, Ohio, instead of Beverly, Massachusetts, where I'd gone to school my whole life. I had to go to my senior year in a new high school, in a new state, in a new culture, with new parents who were lovely. And I got a great support during a very bad time. I got my own job. The first week I was there, I went up and down the main highway and submitted applications. And the first place I went to, she called me back for an interview and I got the job. And it was working in a drive-in restaurant called the High Boy Restaurant, where they served Fish's hamburgers and Kentucky Fried Chicken. So I was a chicken fryer and I worked on the KFC side. That was in June. Halloween came and I dressed up as an old lady. And I put on a hat, one of those straw round hats with the big flowers. I got glasses and poked out the, that. I had a whole old frumpy dress. I had a gray wig on. I had a cane. And I drove around the back and I put on my outfit and I took some flour out of the kitchen and I put it on my face to whiten my skin. And then I put on red lipstick and then I had old lady shoes and a cane and a purse. And I hobbled all the way, my first big outed drag performance. And I went around to the front and sat down in the counter. And the head waitress came and I said, "Can I have a cup of coffee? Can I have a cup of coffee, please?" And I'm fumbling in my purse. I had gloves on, and shaking. And I pulled out the dollar and put it on so she knew I was serious. And I'm drinking my coffee, and we smoked in those days at the counter. And so I took my gloves off and I smoked. I got there about 2 hours early. And I sat there for the longest time just sucking on that cup of coffee. "Would you like something else, ma'am?" "No, thank you, I'm fine. I'll take a refill." And I pulled it off, and they had no idea. Then when I left, I hobbled out and went to the back and got in my car, which is back in the back where the employees come in, took everything off because I had my work clothes on underneath, I had my pants all rolled up. I had lady nylons on up to the, I did the whole 9 yards, but I had my pants all rolled up, so I did the whole 9 yards. And then I just wiped my face and took off my lipstick and put all my hair back and put on my KFC hat and went in and got my apron and started frying. And I said, "What happened to that old lady that was out there?" She goes, "Did you see her? She was the cutest thing. We don't know who she is." Because everybody knows everybody. And then I said, "You mean her?" And they all pissed their pants right in the dining room. 3 waitresses and a cook. They just pissed their pants right there. That's my story.
Oh, what a wonderful story, Paul. That's
Now
a
you're going to tell
wonderful
it back to me quickly.
No, I'm not supposed to tell it back to you. I'm supposed to tell my story, right?
Oh, okay. And then yes. And then I got to tell, go ahead. I'm going to see how
I
good
think
you
so.
listen.
I think I'm supposed to tell my story, right?
Yeah, tell your story and then we'll see.
We'll see what we do.
Right.
Okay, so I'm a Bostonian, right? Also. So here I was, I lived in Roxbury and I went to high school at an all-girls private high school in Milton.
Roxbury?
In Milton,
Oh my
Massachusetts.
God, at White Town.
White Town.
I know.
All nuns, all girls, all private. So here I am.
In Roxbury?
I lived in Roxbury.
Wow, we gotta talk about that.
Oh,
Well,
yes, because back then, this was in
60.
1967,
Yeah, that was heavy.
67.
Right.
So we all knew each other. All of us girls all knew each other. And we were in our senior year, and we all loved, not all of us, but my group loved going to hear music. I'm still a lover of music. We didn't hear the same music, but periodically we talk about places we went downtown Boston. So I get together with a couple of girls who I live near in Roxbury, a couple of Black girls and a Chinese, half Black. You know, my neighborhood was not all Black. There was a lot of mixing going on
Right.
at that time that was frowned upon. It wasn't normal.
Right.
But nonetheless, we go out, we get all dolled up, put on our high heels, and we go to this nightclub downtown Boston to hear this group. And I'm sorry, I can't think of the name of the group, but they became very famous, and I can't think of their name right now. Anyway, we're sitting around the piano, just being girls, and we're having our drinks. And the guys take their break and they come around the piano to see all these women, because it was an all male group.
Right.
And it was exactly the same, 5 guys and 5 girls. So they come around and we're all flirty, and they have their drink. This is very important. They all had a drink. And this one singer, one guy came and sat and talked with me. And we all got up and danced a little bit, just free dance. And then he had his glass down on the piano. I had mine on the piano too. It's not going where you think it's going.
Go ahead.
And mine was over here, and the keys of the piano were here, and we were talking about sounds. And I went to press the key to tell him, because I kind of knew where the keys were, what sound I wanted, and I put my finger right in his drink.
Oh.
And I never lived it down. I thought I would never live it down. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed. And he thought I did it on purpose.
And
But I didn't.
And he's famous.
Yeah, he's famous now. They're
Yeah.
all famous. They're all, well, they're getting old now.
Yeah, yeah. You had your chance, Peggy.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm glad I didn't go that way.
Well, great story.
Thank you.
It was high school, right?
It was high school, and it was senior year, just like yours was.
Right. So you were underage.
That's correct.
In a bar at 21.
That's right.
With your girlfriends.
Right.
With the band.
Right.
And your girlfriend's from Roxbury.
Right.
Not your girlfriend's from Milton. Your girlfriend's from Roxbury.
Right.
And you were trying to make an impression with this band guy.
Yes.
And you thought you were so hot stuff that you put your finger in his drink instead of on the keyboard. Is that the story? God. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Okay, your turn to tell my story.
Okay, and you were senior also. This was your senior year. You had to leave, was it Braintree? You had to leave the Boston.
Beverly.
You in Beverly. I knew it began with a B. You had to leave Beverly, go to Ohio to live with your aunt in your senior year, in a whole new environment, a new set of parents, a new school, didn't know anybody.
That's right.
Really, I mean, you talk about being alone, and so you did, and you got a job. Your first application came through. You got a job, and it was a company that had KFC on one side and something else on the other, but you got a job on the KFC side.
Right.
Right. And so it came time for you guys to do a little joke, and you dressed up. It was your first time doing drag, really, in a way. It really was. Drag. In public. And you fooled them all. You fooled them all. You got so dressed, the lipstick, the powder on the face, the wig, the stockings, the shoes, everything, the purse, the cane, the shaky voice, the shaking hands. You even had money, and you kept having coffee and coffee, even though they kept offering you something else. And when you got done, you left the counter, took off everything because you had on your clothes underneath. You had your pants all rolled up. I'm surprised they weren't all wrinkled. You pulled out, straightened everything out, came back to work and said, hey, what happened to that old lady that was at the bar? And nobody, until you showed them her voice, and that blew them all away.
That's the story. You listened. Good. Now everybody else knows what we went through. Because they're all coming back. Is everybody back?
Everybody's almost back.
Okay. Good
And
job. Good listening.
good
Thank you.
listening on your part as well. Thank you. Karen, you're still mic'd. Everybody's still mic'd. So you're not mic'd. That's good.
All I can
Is
see is,
Susan? Oh,
I can only see Dennis's forehead.
Yeah, he's got a full
There's more.
Yeah, that's better.
Chris and Alice and
They're not,
Sherry.
they're not back yet.
Alice and Christopher.
Yeah, I don't see them yet.
is Susan back yet?
Yeah, Susan's there. She's got a, Susan, you want to unmic yourself?
Yeah, I'm here. But you know
Okay.
what? It didn't go right back. We had to go down and push leave room.
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't do it automatic like it was
No.
supposed
No,
to.
it didn't.
Nope.
It did it the first time.
Christopher is yakking
Did
way
you,
down
did
there.
you set a
'cause I can
timeout
hear
for
him.
it?
Yeah, I set it up for
Let me go
8
to
minutes.
Julie.
Because I did notice eventually that it said time remaining 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I did. I set it up for 8 minutes, and then I saw it said time. At the time I glanced at it, it said time remaining 2. And then I finished my story with Paul, since he was my partner. But yeah, it didn't go back like the first time. It went back
Yeah.
automatically, right?
Yeah, by itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't do it. Yeah.
Hey,
Do it.
you can bring people back if you want, right?
Yes, I can, but I can't do it now.
Oh, really?
Should be able to send
I
them a
can-
message.
Here we go. I close all rooms.
There you go.
You
Did you
paused
leave
it.
him in the hall?
You're
Yeah.
muted, Christopher.
There's Christopher.
There's Alice and somebody else.
Alice and somebody else.
I guess the TC leave the service?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. All breakout rooms will be closed in 2 seconds, 1 second, and they're all closed.
There we go.
There we go. There you guys are.
Tanya.
Did you guys have fun?
Yes. Yes.
There you go,
All right.
Christopher.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Mr. Brown, take us away.
Please.
You're muted.
Your mic,
Christopher.
you're muted, Christopher. There you
Oh,
go.
sorry. So the idea of that was to pass the capsule back and forth, to get the idea of when you are speaking, what's the quality of your speaking? And when you're listening, are you listening not just to the words, but the quality and the experience behind the words? So we're listening at deeper levels. We're listening from the clear dance floor. We're running late. I want to thank Peggy right now for doing a fabulous job.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry it didn't come back automatic like the first time, but I'll get better with more
Oh,
practice.
you sure will.
Thank you, everybody.
And I want to thank everybody for participating in this. And I'm going to have to turn it over to Paul because we're out of time at this point.
Well, I think one thing is from the last experience, it was interesting, Christopher. It piqued my interest. It forced me to really pay attention to Peggy's story, and she listened to mine, and they were both great stories. So I feel like I know Peggy a little bit better now.
Yes.
And I was informed something I kind of knew, but I never picked up on. She grew up very close to me in Massachusetts.
Oh.
We have a lot to talk about in the future. So thank you for that exercise. We had a really,
All right.
was that similar for everybody else? Did you all learn something new, interesting?
Mm-hmm.
I learned something that was new and one of the funniest stories ever from Susan.
Ah,
It was a terrific story. And I could
Good.
picture it the way she told me. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
Great. Dennis, how
Good.
were things for you tonight? We got a few, we'll go a little bit over, but I wanted to connect with you, Dennis. You gotta unmute yourself, or Peggy unmute him. Hold on, Dennis.
Hold on. Oh, you got it? Where is he? Hang on a second. I'll send you a note to unmute yourself.
No, he's unmuted.
Okay, good.
Okay, go ahead, Dennis.
Am I unmuted now?
And yes, you are, sir.
Okay, it was very satisfied. I enjoyed it very much. My partner was a great listener. I learned some things about him, which I value. And I just love the process that we went through. This exercise was very engaging for me.
Good. Good. Freya, you're all good, honey. You had a good time. You didn't get very much airtime tonight, so.
I enjoyed every minute. In fact, it's too short tonight.
I know. And so you're all good. We can take a minute and check in, I think. 'Cause I don't have a lot of announcements.
Yep.
All good, Sherry?
Yep, great.
All right. Tanya, I know you're fabulous down there hiding away from me.
Alice?
Zoom team. Alice, you had a good time, I take it. Yeah.
Yes, Tanya and I had a lot of fun sharing stories.
Great. So Christopher, I think we should make that a part of every Wednesday night. I thought that was
Funny story.
a fabulous exercise. So let's thank Christopher, everybody, very much.
Yay!
Brown.
Thumbs up.
Dennis, since you like that exercise, what Christopher did tonight is very similar to what Christopher and Susan host at their home once a month. It's called the Circle, Saturday Circle. And this is the same process that they use when they host it. So if you connect with Susan or Christopher, they'll tell you when it is, and it's in Zoom now. So if you like this process of what they call dyads and breakouts and stuff like that.
I do like the process, and Susan has sent me the link.
Good.
A couple of weeks ago, I wasn't able to participate for the first 2 Saturdays, but I'm looking forward to participating in the future.
Great, Christopher and Susan, if it's okay, I advertised it in your setup, but I think it's okay to let anybody else on the call know. Sherry, you attend. I know you've come, and Freya, you're there.
I love it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So if for anybody else, connect with Susan and Christopher, and it'll give you one more Zoom meeting a month to go to. So speaking of Zoom, who's on next Wednesday? It'll be Constance Chapman, and she'll be speaking on staying connected in a disconnected world, very similar to what Christopher talked about tonight. Our new theme next month is cosmic connection. We are disconnected physically, she says, from one another. Politics is more based on fear than on discourse, collaboration, and compromise. And we believe in oneness. How do we practice this and keep connected when so much is pushing us to separate ourselves from those who seem different? Come prepared with one practice or tool you use to help you stay connected. So the meditation is next Wednesday at 6:30 and the service is at 7 o'clock. Now, Sunday's a very special Sunday. This is our official church service celebrating our 75th anniversary. Of course, it's going to be in Zoom, but in 1945, we were granted from the Institute of Religious Science. Before it became a church, we were an institute. In 1945, we were the Oakland Institute. So, and then in the mid 50s, like 1953, we became a church, as did the Institute of Science of Mind became Institute of Religious Science became what we know now as the Church of Religious Science. So anyways, that's interesting history, but we're celebrating the original recognition as a group in Oakland in 1945. wear your best outfit, or at least your best top clothing, your party hat, and join our Zoom services. Reverend Jeff leads us into a month of cosmic connection and celebration. Expect the unexpected this coming Sunday. It is truly going to be a historic retrospect. 75 years is nothing to sneeze at when it comes to a church in its original building as a religious science church. We have a lot to be proud of here. Meditation is at 10 and the service starts at 10:30. We also, on Saturday, to have a little physical but yet distance connection, is our parking lot parade celebrating our 75th anniversary. And that's going to take place in the parking lot. Janine has spoken about it a lot. And let me get to the real announcement. Yes, we'll just drive around the parking lot and we have interesting sights and history to show you. That's this coming Saturday, October 3rd, between 11 and 1, and that's kicking off our celebration. This is in lieu of our annual cookout that we have, barbecue. Tomorrow in the Village News, check out the links to all the great election resources coming up from Banter, East Bay Spiritual Activism Ministry, Centers for Spiritual Living, and other venues. That will be in your Village News with all of that information about voting. Watch your email in the next few days or early next week for a personal message from Reverend Jeff about our pledge drive for 2021. We may not be able to change the world in an instant, so keeping our spiritual center alive and financially healthy is within our power. You want to receive the newsletter? If you're not already doing it, check the left-hand side of the website homepage down in the bottom, and you can submit your email address. Zoe is reminding us that this Sunday is the Calm Grief and Loss Support Group is meeting right after church at 12:30. So Zoe is hosting that. It is first Sunday. Thank you for reminding us, Zoe. Don't forget we have a Facebook group, and that we also have a place where all of our Sunday and Wednesday services and video messages are on our Spiritual Living YouTube channel. Out of interest, we will be posting a video from the entire celebration of the 45th anniversary on that YouTube channel soon. We found it in the archives during the remodeling, and we're converting it, and that will be on the website. So fascinating look when Reverend Margaret had it in 1990 and what the center looked like then and who the people were and what some of the folks looked like 30 years ago. So it's about an hour and a half long, and it'll be on the website for everybody to enjoy, among several other items that we've been putting together to recognize our anniversary. I also want to quickly do an offering, remind you that we're grateful for all the gifts that you give. We're going to have a little new slide here with a devotional moment for our offering. There we go. Joyously I give with an attitude of abundance, knowing that as I give, I do receive. Thank you for your gifts. It's easy to give. Here at the Oakland Center, all you have to do is go to the homepage where everything else lives and look for the donate button. It's quick, it's easy, it's safe, and it's good to do when you're ready to do so. I want to thank our Zoom hosts tonight, and Peggy Cotton, Constance Chapman, always in the background watching over us, Anthony Prado, and Alice Knudsen. Did I forget anybody? No, I don't think so. Thank you, guys. That's all the news that's fit to tell. We're only 12 minutes late. So, yay. Thank you, everybody. If you have something you want to say, you can chat amongst our little selves for right now.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself and talk if you want. Otherwise,
are we good for the night? Tanya, things going all right with you, honey? Thinking of you every day at school with the kids.
Good night, everybody.
Getting a little better every day, but it's intense.
Yeah. All is well. We know.
Thank you.
Dennis,
Thanks for
Freya,
asking.
Christopher, Zoe, Susan, everybody.
Bye,
Okay,
everyone.
ready? All right, 3,
So much.
2,
Thank you, Christopher.
1. Thank you, guys.